An annual award ceremony called the Avengers, and we use this forum to have this award. So before I go into the award, I'll just share a really quick personal story. I don't know how many of you here know, but I grew up in Nigeria in West Africa. So went there. My dad is a corn researcher. His life goal has been to end world poverty and world famine. So went to Nigeria when I was 6 years old. And we live in this campus, which had 100 different scientific families coming in from 40 different countries. And Nigeria had the research center responsible for literally all agriculture for all of Africa. So growing up in Nigeria, everyone's giving housing, and every house has wild fruit. So if you ever see wild fruit, I mean, these are like oranges with like no juice. It's mangoes are tiny. It just isn't very good fruit. So, of course, we go to the market, we buy fruit, and I'm 6 years old. My mom, and we just eat fruit from the market because you never really pick fruit from your trees. And when I'm 9 years old, so 3 years into living in Nigeria, and we were supposed to be there 5 years, my mom starts to dry the seeds of mango trees and, tangerine trees and grapefruit trees, and starts to dry the seeds and dig holes around the house and plant seeds, like in the ground. And I'm 9 years old, and thinking I know much more than anybody who's older. I'm like, Mom, you're just being foolish. And I start yelling at her, and I probably use even stronger language, like, Mom, why are you being so stupid, right? Why are you planting seeds for trees? It's going to take 10 years to grow, and we're going to be gone in 2 years. Why are you doing this? And she turned to me and she gave me a very simple answer, which was, it's the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do whether we're here or not. That every house has poor fruit because nobody did this. And she planted the seeds, and we ended up staying in Nigeria for 17 years. We were the only house who had the most amazing, luscious fruit trees around the house, and every family talked about this genius mother who had the foresight, and is educated better, which is why she did it, and that was never the reason why she did it. And that lesson has always stuck with me. And when I think about this Avengers Award, one of the things we've been working on as a company is trying to define what is success. As a company, building a for-profit company, what is success? And the simplest definition that we came up with, after all the help of advisors and research, was success is just a very simple thing. Making both our mother and father proud of us. The people who sacrifice the most for us in our life. If we can make both the mother and father, remember some of us have different individuals who act like who are the mothers, or whether it's an uncle or a grandparent, but both a mother and father. And all the research showed very simple things. Fathers are most proud of us when we achieve. So when we graduate from school, when we get promoted, when we get our job, the first bonus check, that's when our fathers are proud. But mothers are proud of us when we are happy ourselves, and then we help others. When we take care of other people and we help others, this is when mothers are most proud of us. So we built an award, and a series of awards actually, and we found that recognition programs in companies are the best ways to reinforce the behaviors that you want to see. So one of the simplest things we did was what we call Employee of the Month. A lot of companies in movies is Employee of the Month. And we created this very simple thing called Top 10 Employees. And at first, for many years, it was around who had the biggest chest, in the sense of who did the most. The biggest contract signed, the coolest product launched, fastest. Whoever was that rock star MVP got top 10 employees. And perks and awards came with it. Something happened over time, and I don't even know who changed the rules, but I love that fact it changed. It somehow changed so subtly to say, top 10 employees, who helped you succeed the most? And everyone in the company votes every month, voting and putting details of stories behind who helped them succeed the most. And these top 10 employees are given all kinds of awards and perks and time, even myself asking questions and putting me in the hot seat. And culturally, it started to change our company with this. And the culmination of all those top 10s and all the recognitions of those who helped you succeed comes to our Avengers Award. And the Avenger Award we got from the movie, where alone you can do good, but together you can do great. And how do you build this culture of superheroes, where superheroes never focus on themselves? They focus on others. They focus on empowering and helping others do greater things. And now, you can't get invited easily being an Avenger, because they're very selective. But the idea of the Avengers Award, it's a multi-month process, several weeks, I think around 13 weeks or so. Anybody in the company can nominate and share stories of who is the Avenger in the company, the servant leader. And the way we look at this is that the emphasis is in the word servant. This is the servant of the company that we then empower with leadership. And we shine a spotlight through the entire company. And this is not about finding the next to be CEO. This is not about finding the person who brought the most revenue. We're finding the person who is the servant. And that servant, no matter how little they get recognized, no matter how little they get paid, no matter how little a thank you they get, they still come back day in and day out with the same passion, the same enthusiasm to serve others. This is our Avenger Award. We believe this is the highest honor in the company. The team, a committee of next jumpers, spends months not only reading every submission, they go and sit people down under a hot lamp and they interview them. And they say, are you sure it's not because it's your friend? Are you sure? And they will grill these people down to excruciating detail and judge. So you're being judged by your colleagues of who is the servant leader of the company. And so I'm going to bring the committee up, and they're going to go and present this award. And we whittle down, and we start celebrating. There I can't remember exactly how many, but there's a lot of nominations, a lot of incredible stories. And we do this Oscar style where the top 5 are what we call Avengers. And they'll count down from, the 4th runner-up all the way to the grand prize. But the 5 people are the people that we want emulated, repeated, cell divided, whatever you want to do, to make more of them. And those are from 5 last year, 5 more we're going to add this year, and those are the shepherds of the company, and what we want to, obviously get a lot more of. And so the 5 get a pin. And last year, the first time, we had a 25-cent pin, and since it's the second year, it's upgraded to a much nicer pin. And so I asked the committee, should the original group get 5 of the nicer pins? And they were like, absolutely not. One day on eBay, those pins are going to go for like $10,000 each. They're going to keep the original pins. So this is the second year, and we're adding these pins. And so before we go into the award, and there's a pretty large prize for the grand winner, where we believe, since you have been our servants, and we have had the honor of your service, we want you to go and celebrate with your family, and especially your mother. And so the prize is a $30,000 prize, which is quite lofty, but $10,000 of it is to go and rent a house for a week with your family, all your loved ones. $10,000 is to fly everybody in. $5,000 for food and activities, so you will eat well, and then you get an extra week of vacation, which we value at $30,000. So we're going to have that ceremony. And before we go into it, though, we have a video from last year's finalist, last year's winner, Mike Walters. And it was difficult for us at first because he left the company. He left the company. It was very sudden. And our belief was, even if we're going out of business, these are the people who will stay to the very end, helping us shut down the company the right way. And so Mike Walters left suddenly in the middle, and nobody could understand how and why. Several months after he left, he shoots me a note, a plea for help. And he said, Charlie, one thing you taught me was when I need help and have nowhere to turn, to always turn to you at least you just never know. So he shot me a note, and there was a huge tragedy in his family. So he is, I think he's like the middle child of 3. And his youngest brother, 19 years old, his name is Chris, was in Taiwan doing school year abroad and did something really foolish. He smoked weed in Taiwan. Now in Taiwan, smoking weed is illegal to the point, it used to be the death penalty, but now it's pretty much life imprisonment. And the family, their public service parents, they spent their entire savings for 2 years fighting this case in a foreign country where they didn't even understand what was happening. And he shot me the note they got the sentence, which is Chris just got sentenced to 10 years in prison in Taiwan. And he left to go and help them. So he's gone through a lot of challenges, and he just didn't know what to do, who to call, and he called. And so we did everything in our power to help. And I've never dealt with a case like this. I've watched a show, Locked Up Abroad, which sounds very familiar to this. And so wanted to help and just started reaching out to everybody I knew. the Jim Lairs, the Simons, and amazing individuals started to come out saying, I know someone in the White House, I know this, and people just coming from the outside to help. So I took the notes and I shared it with every next jumper in the company. And the number one thing they needed help with was just getting money to fight their legal battle. They had to appeal. So we reached out to next jumpers. And we had taken the money that we got from Avengers, and they never went on vacation, of course. There's no family to go on vacation. They were all fighting this case. And put the money, even though we have rules, if you leave the company, you don't get awards afterwards, even if you haven't used it. We put all the money towards helping the legal case, and then reached out to next jumpers and said, it's totally up to you if you want to help. A financial commitment, we can deduct it out of your payroll. Literally, within 3 days, 50-something next jumpers came right to bat. They contributed their paycheck. There was a next jumper who contributed 85% of his paycheck to help. We gave them more money than they spent in the first 2 years. They're still fighting this battle, and we don't know what will happen, but that's our first Avenger, a story that we did not think would turn out this way. But we're quite proud of what we were able to do and what he's doing. So with that, I'm just going to show a quick video that he sent a thank you note to the group, and then we'll turn it over to Rachel to run the Avengers Award.
Well, hello Next Jump. Wow, I can't believe it's been a year. A year ago I sat in the front row as Charlie called out my name as the first ever Next Jump Avenger. I'm still in shock and I can't really believe it. I felt very humbled to be standing in front of you as Gowri read out stories from my colleagues. Like Joe and Anush thanking me for helping with their fitness goals, or Sabrina thanking me for all the hours we've spent on CRM. To be able to help the people you love is a gift, and to be honoured this way by them was incredible. But the Avengers Award is more than just recognising people who help others. It's also about family. I remember watching the other Avengers get surprised by their family that had come in from out of town. It was kind of bittersweet for me because I knew my dad was 7,000 miles away in Taiwan. So you can imagine my surprise when he appeared from his hiding place at the back of the room. I grew up in a boarding school, so my parents missed out on most of my big events, but sharing this with my dad meant everything. I still don't know how Gowri managed to sneak him over. With the Avengers Prize, the plan was for me to take my family on an amazing trip, to say thank you for all the sacrifices they'd made over the last 20 plus years, and let them know that I was doing alright, that they didn't need to worry about me anymore, and that hopefully now I could take care of them a bit. But sometimes life gets in the way. See, no one knew this, but at the same time my family was fighting a huge battle. My younger brother was in serious legal trouble in Taiwan, and when his case took a turn for the worse, I turned to Charlie for help. I was amazed with his response. He donated the Avengers Prize Fund to my family, and he put me in touch with a host of his important contacts. And then he took time to coach me on how to handle things, even when I was freaking out. What happened after that was even more amazing. The donations and emails that I received from fellow Next Jumpers floored me. The outpouring of love and concern was just overwhelming. In total, Next Jumpers donated almost $50,000 to help my family afford the best legal counsel possible. I'll never be able to thank you all for everything you've done. And I don't know if you'll ever realize just how much it meant to me to hear from my family at Next Jump, to know that I wasn't in this alone, and then to be able to actually help my family fight this. Our fight isn't over yet, but it's because of you that we're still able to keep fighting. So thank you once again for everything. I'm so excited to be a part of celebrating this year's Avenger. I miss you all, and I wish I could be there.
Wiping tears. Hi everyone, I'm Rachel and I'm captain of this year's Avengers Award. A year ago, I was an audience member like you, not sure what I was about to witness, and not part of the process. These past few months, I've had the honor to work with last year's Avengers. This is important because I wasn't an Avenger last year, and not really involved, and so it's been a humbling experience for me. To give some background on our Avengers Award, we met as a committee and selected this year's Avenger. Our goal was to shine a spotlight in every corner of the company. We asked everyone in the company to write in and nominate their coworkers that most exemplify this trait of service for others. In total, we received 244 stories about our next jumpers and about 62 individuals. Wow. We narrowed it down to the top 27 and then to the top 10, and we announced those last week. One by one, last year's Avengers will come up and introduce this year's new class. They are the top 5 steward leaders in the entire company. The winner will be the last person we call up. The names of the 5 that we honor here today will go on plaques and be hung up in all of the offices. We'll celebrate them throughout the year. These are our examples of steward leaders. The winner will receive the Ultimate Family Vacation, a Next Jump style award. The idea is to spend a week with your family that you will never forget. Made possible by 1 week extra vacation, a destination of your choosing, $10,000 for a swanky pad, $10,000 to fly your family in from wherever they are, and $5,000 to eat, drink, and be merry. So let's get started. As a reminder, these are this year's top 10 nominees. Anuj, Chad, Gowri, John Hilliard, James, Cam, Kenny, Laura, Michael, and Rick. The winner, the number 1 steward leader of the company, will be the last person we call up. So now, Henry will name the first Avenger.
Hi, everyone. I have the utmost honor of introducing this year's first Avenger for the class of 2013. Kenny, Harvey, will you please join me on stage? I'd also like to invite Mike D to join us on stage. He's a good friend of Kenny. So let me tell you a little bit about Kenny. As I paged through all of Kenny's nominations, it became really clear why Kenny deserves to be an Avenger this year. It comes down to one simple theme. Kenny's always there doing the small things for you, day in, day out, to make your life easier and to make you better as a person. As a little bit of background about Kenny, he's been with NextJump over 2 years, and he works on one of our most high-profile teams, Team Blitzcode. It's one of our teams that requires a lot of stress, and they're there building features for our site so that our company can make a lot of revenue. But this award isn't about revenue, and it's not about the best engineer in the company. It's about someone who's a steward leader. And Kenny doesn't lack there. Kenny is constantly finding time to give to others despite all the stress and high-octane coding that they have to do. He's a constant giver. There are countless stories of Kenny where he's working with developers to help make their products better. Constant and numerous stories about how he's here working on site issues not for recognition, but just so that our sites run super smooth the following day. And doesn't stop with his ability to give and his ability to always be there when you need him to support you. It also stretches into his investment in people in the company. He's terribly invested in the growth of everyone that he works with. In fact, he started a group called the Dev Poets Society, which is a group that teaches and inspires engineers from within. The purpose of the group, it's a bottoms-up group where engineers meet together to discuss and develop technology. And the purpose is to teach and inspire each other and find systematic changes that they can make to help affect everyone else in the company. Kenny has a very, very huge passion for technology. I think that's apparent. And because of this and his love of people, he founded this group to bring a lot of new systematic changes within. On top of an incredible character, Kenny's incredibly talented. He's a great developer. So I heard from someone else, if you Google image search Kenny, if you Google image search smart engineers, you'll see Kenny's face. But despite his amazing talents and his aptitude, he still carries himself with so much humility that I find it inspiring personally. So Kenny, for all the times you've helped people and all the times that you may have done it without any sort of recognition, for all the little things that you've done to help people achieve the great things they're meant to do, I am proud to recognize you as this year's first Avenger of the class of 2013. We have some nice pins. You prefer? All right. All right. Excellent.
I'm honored to invite our second nominee, or our second Avenger, I made the same mistake, Anuj Nair to the stage as our second Avenger. I would also ask at this time if Joe or Gary could come up to the stage. I've had the pleasure of working with Anuj for 3 years now. Over this period of time, I've come to know Anuj as friendly, caring, and very hardworking. But that isn't enough to be an Avenger, as we all know. Through all your testimonials, I now know Anuj better, and I can confidently say that Anuj is an Avenger because he has service-oriented DNA inside of his body. And while this DNA may not make him look like the Hulk, this special DNA manifests itself in different ways, primarily in helping others. I would like to share with you now a brief story that I think exemplifies Anuj's character. For those that don't know Kate Wiltshire, she wasn't always an engineer in the UK office. Actually, she was hired to the merchant team. But she always loved technology. Early on in her career, Anuj picked up on her interest in technology and decided to take it upon himself, despite his workload, to mentor her and teach her. Each week, after work, he would walk through engineering basics and build her technical knowledge base. And as if this wasn't enough, he planned lessons and homework assignments for her to make sure that she was getting the most out of these sessions. And as a result, Kate grew as a person and as an engineer. And this paved the way for her to transition teams and become a successful full-time engineer. So in conclusion, I thank you all, Next Jumpers, from both sides of the pond, for sharing so much about this amazing guy. I now know that Anuj is friendly, caring, and hardworking, but also that he's a tireless mentor and teacher. And he has empathy and caring in his DNA, all of which allows him to be an incredible servant leader in this company. I think in the UK, they might just say, "Boy, me mate, you're aces! Cheers!" I'm not quite sure. I hope I got that right. But I am now thrilled, pleased, and honored, and incredibly humble to now award Anuj Nair his Avengers Medal. Please join me in congratulating Anuj.
It is my pleasure to announce Kamarish Shrivastava as our third Avenger. I'd also like to invite Kanchan, his dear sister, to join us here. The reason why Cam is an Avenger is because he always puts other people's needs first. He truly is an officer who eats last. I was blown away by the power of his nominators who just couldn't stop writing stories about Cam, how he always helps others without asking for anything in return. He truly is, and how he sums up the true spirit of an Avenger without asking for anything in return. I want to share a story with you that shows how Cam is helping without thinking of himself by putting others first. It is when we had the Bigger Hearts Code Red project, the goal of our project was to solve tickets, issues, customer service issues. Cam was the only one running from desk to desk, helping others, making sure they solved their own tickets without solving his own. As many of you know, Cam runs around the office. He just runs. When there's an issue or there's something to be solved, he just goes back to his desk like very quick, I'm going to solve it now. That's what he did that day. He was literally running 8th floor, 7th floor, desk to desk, to make sure they take care of their issues. Again, he put himself last. His nominator, Nayan, mentioned about Cam that every time he sees someone going to Cam's desk, every time Cam says, sure, I'll help you. He never says no or later. He's truly servicing others. Another nominated, Tom Fuller, says about Cam that in his 14 years at Next Jump, he never seen someone caring so much about people without expecting anything in return than Cam. No matter what, day, night, anytime, Cam will be there for you. It's really an honor to represent Cam today, to be able to speak for you. Cam, I want to know that you're loved and appreciated, and we care about you very much, and we're so happy to have you here. Everyone, please welcome, congratulate Cam, and to welcome him into our team.
I'm so honored to introduce Chad Jung as the Fourth Avenger. We also have Chad's wife, Judy, among us. Judy, can you please come up here as well? Let me give you some Let me give you some background about Chad. Chad has been with NextJump for 5 years and currently works in the database team. He was a member of the first class of engineers we recruited. Chad is an Avenger because he always volunteers to do what no one else wants to do. Dedicated, selfless, humble are some of the ways Chad is described by fellow Next Jumpers. John Nellen, Chad's pod lead, says, Chad always draws the short straw, but willingly does so. Anuj shared a story which exemplifies Chad's dedication to helping others. Anuj was once trying to solve a very tricky tracking issue. Everyone in Next Jump knows how tough these issues are. After some time, he decided to email a bunch of people asking for help. Seeing no response, he continued trying to solve the issue. 2 hours later, Anuj gets an email from Chad. Chad had figured it out. He painstakingly tracked the issue through different systems in NextJump. But that's not all. He went ahead and fixed the issue, making sure that it never happened again. It is very comforting to have someone like Chad who makes other people's problems their own. Anuj calls Chad a true NextJump hero. I see him as the Iron Man. Chad might not be a billionaire playboy like Tony Stark, but he is the ultimate team player. And like the Iron Man, he is ready to make the ultimate sacrifice for the greater good of the team. Chad, to me, you're a shining example of what an Avenger represents. Please join me in congratulating Chad while I award him this compliment.
Can you handle the suspense? So now Charlie's going to announce the 2013 Avengers Award winner.
So we don't have Ernst & Young, but we have KPMG. So KPMG, I understand, helped audit these results. And in here lies the envelope. One of these 6 is our grand winner of the 2013 Avengers. I think not to take away the other 4, I mean, this is the team, the 5, that has protected the company, that has helped the company grow to where it is this year. And we've had a record year that has been 19 years of historical growth and has done phenomenally well. So it's the work of the Avengers and what they've done. Without further ado, I will open the envelope. The 2013 grand prize winner of the Avengers Award is Gowri.
Gowri? Do this. We have a surprise for you. Your parents are here. Your parents are here. They've just flown in from India. I am honored to introduce Gowri Lakshminarayanan as the 2013 Avengers winner. Gowri is an Avenger because he is always there for you. He is incredibly loyal, infectiously sweet, and helps you accomplish anything. In his 5 years at NextJump, he has come to the aid of many, and likely while doing so, has made you laugh or taught you something about the game of chess, his great passion. I don't think that there is another person filled with as much goodness as Gowri. It is a pure quality. Lokia, his manager, describes it as the ability to help with his whole heart. So let me tell you a story about how Gowri is always there for you. On the night of Hurricane Sandy, I'm working from home and encounter a problem on an email campaign I'm building for a client launch that's on the West Coast. At this point, everyone has gone home, is offline, prepping to brave the storm. But I take a chance, and I go online, and I see a green dot next to Gowri's name, because I swear there's always a green dot next to his name. I ask if he's available to help me. He quickly replies and starts helping me with my problem online. But then his green dot turns red. A few minutes later, my phone rings. It's Gowri. I'm sorry, the internet's gone out here in Jersey. I'm calling, I hope that's okay. We begin troubleshooting over the phone. Then he pauses and he says, "Oh, I can see Manhattan. It's just gone dark." And then he goes back into one-on-one troubleshooting my problem. A few minutes later, he pauses again and goes, "Oh, my power has just gone out. The end is near, Rachel. What else can I help you with?" I mean, the Northeast is completely shutting down, and he probably would have drained his phone battery and leapt across buildings if I'd asked him to. He is that dedicated. An Avenger is someone who will go to battle for you day in and day out. In stormy skies, they stick around. In the face of an apocalypse, Gowri is there by your side, selflessly serving you with a smile. Gowri, I know that you would sacrifice yourself before allowing any next jumper to be checkmated. We want to recognize you for this incredible steward leadership. Charlie will now pin Gowri with his Avengers medal. Please join me in congratulating him in recognition as the 2013 Avengers winner, the highest honor at Next Jump.
We tried, just so you know, we tried really hard to get Mike Walters here as we wanted him to pin this pin on Gowri. So on behalf of Mike Walters, who just couldn't be here because he's still helping his family fight the battle, I'm so honored to pin this on Gowri. So. I think that was it for the first part of that. Or actually, there's more? Oh, no. All right.
Excuse me, that Charlie doesn't know about. Charlie, if you could just stay up with me for a minute, if you don't mind. I have tissues, because you're going to need it. And I'm going to need it. I have so much oxytocin running through my body, I think I'm going to forget my entire speech. But we have some serotonin for you, and I think you're going to like it. And I think even, we talked today, leaders need recognition too, and we want to recognize you today. So I know it's a little awkward up here, but stand closer to me. Okay, so we have a top secret covert operation we've been working on for a few months now, a small team and I. And so this is only going to take 10, 15 minutes. We'll get to the bar soon, but I think it's going to be worthwhile. So if you could just stay 10, 15 more minutes with me. Before I get to the surprise, my name is Megan. I've been working with Charlie for about 15 years now, and I'm so excited to do this. I cannot even tell you. It has been so hard for me to keep the surprise from him because we work together on almost everything. So finally, I was like, I'm just so bad at keeping surprises. I finally just said, I'm working on a surprise for you. Can you just let me leave for 10 minutes or half an hour? I just need an hour here. So I really, the team that helped me do this, I'm going to thank you profusely again because I couldn't have done it without you guys. But it was funny because I finally asked him, well, what do you think we're doing? And he was like, well, it's my 40th birthday tomorrow, which is tomorrow. He's like, it's obviously something for my birthday. So I lied and said, yes, it's not. It's 40, schmorty, whatever, okay. So then I was like, so I said, but what do you think we're doing? And so he was like, well, you know, we have a big summer outing tomorrow, huge picnic we do. It's so much fun. It's like a 10-hour, really fun time for everybody's families that came and flew in for this. He's like, are you getting Justin Bieber to come to the outing? And I was like, no, Charlie, there's no Bieber. Bieber's not coming. But we actually feel like we have something better for you today. So before we reveal that, I just wanted to congratulate the 5 Avengers and Gowri. You're like such a rock star. I'm so happy for you. I just cried my eyes out for you. I'm sure there'll be more, but amazing and so well deserved. Okay, so why I'm up here, so I'm going to feel like I'm talking to Charlie now, but it's just been such a long journey for Charlie here at Next Jump, and he's worked so hard as a servant leader to all of us. He's almost been doing it for 20 years, so close to 2 decades. 19 years, 20, I mean, it's like, my God, it's just a lifetime. A lot of you young engineers have really only been alive that long. And he's been doing this for 20 years. It's crazy. And so we think it's time. You know, we really wanted to recognize him here today. So we created an award called the Lifetime Avenger Award. He's been doing it for a lifetime. He really has. He's been doing it from the flavor ices back in Davis Square to the things he does now like this. It's amazing. And he's really like our superhero. We talked about it this morning a lot about how these superpower qualities that our Avengers have, and Charlie really exemplifies that. And so we have this award for you, and again, like I said, it's cultural. I mean, 62 people were nominated to be an Avenger this year. I mean, it's so cultural, and he's really sort of inspiring the whole company. He's showing us that better us is possible to create a company in scale that can actually do this, and we really want to fix the world by changing how companies run, and Charlie is inspiring us to do that. I think a lot of people believe that he's getting quite amount of praise and recognition for what he's doing in the space, but in fact, he gets more criticism than anything. I think Jim Lear said it best to me this morning, that pioneers get the most arrows. Charlie is pioneering this. Nobody feels more responsibility and pressure than Charlie does to make this work and to kind of create the safe environment and to care for employees, and he does it above and beyond, and he's been doing it for so long. So we're really excited. The surprise is we actually have a video for you. So we're going to show that in just a few minutes, but I first wanted to, it's a tribute video, but I first just wanted to mention the inspiration. I think Charlie talks about building a company that would make your mother and father proud. And so we thought this award is really about, your mothers are so happy, when you're helping others and when you're happy, and should be so proud to be here. So we tried to get your parents here, but, Charlie's dad is out solving world hunger. We can't argue with that. And we couldn't get him. He was actually on a farm right now, I think, in Asia. And so then we tried to videotape them. We tried to then Skype them. It's just too difficult. It's like 4 in the morning, I think, in Korea, and they're coming out in a few weeks. It just proved to be a little bit too difficult. But Charlie's taught me a lot about tenacity and a lot about not giving up. And thanks to Joy for helping. We have the mother who inspired it all. Your mother is here with us today. I used your tissues, but you can use these ones if you want to make tissues or use these. I brought up. Welcome, Mrs. Kim. It's so nice to have you here. Thank you so much for coming. And we're going to share a video, and if you and your mom want to sit and watch the video, we wanted the video to say it all, not just for me, so many people, but we're so proud of your son, and I'm sure you're so proud of him. So sit and watch the video, and then Charlie, if you wanted to come up and say a few words after, you're welcome to, but I think that's it, and congratulations to Gowri, and congratulations to Charlie. We're so inspired by what both of you are doing and paving the way for us. Thank you. The Avenger Award goes out to the servant leader who's building, protecting, and preserving our culture and creating a better company. And today we're going to award the Lifetime Avenger Award to somebody who's been doing it for almost 20 years. Our CEO, Charlie Kim, has been our Lifetime Avenger, exemplifying and being the role model to what an Avenger really is. And it's time that he's recognized for how much he's inspired all of us to become better people and to really help make the world a better place. So today Charlie is going to be able to sit back and hear from all the people he's inspired in his lifetime, his family, his friends, his advisors, partners of ours, and everybody that he's touched. And we can't wait for him to see how much he's impacted their lives.
When Charlie first left Investigate to start Next Jump full time, I vividly remember a conversation he and I had where he said, Greg, I've just been in an environment where I didn't like how I was treated as an employee, and I want to build an organization where I put people first. And I've watched Charlie as he's grown as a CEO, the tremendous pressure he's been on to grow the company, the tremendous strain to deliver results constantly, raising capital. And despite that, he's kind of persevered through and delivered on his original dream in ways I couldn't have possibly imagined. And I feel fortunate and lucky to be part of this journey.
I'm very excited about the whole concept of this award. It is analogous to the Medal of Honor. It honors our mothers, the supreme source of goodness in our lives. This award is representative of someone who has helped so many others to succeed beyond what they would have succeeded in had this person not somehow had an influence in their lives. And I can tell you this in all sincerity, no one, and I mean no one, is more deserving of this award than you, Charlie. Than you.
Congratulations, Dada. I love you very much.
Unlike anyone I've ever met, he's squarely and firstly focused on people. Especially in the technical field, so many people are focused on the product and the coolness and the buzz of it or how much money something makes. But when you're in a room with Charlie, unlike anyone I've ever encountered, he is with you right here, right now, and gives you his full, undivided attention. And he is committed in that moment to helping you and figuring out what you need and how he can help you.
I don't think anyone out there would have done that for me. And that made me feel, at that point, at that moment in time in my life, I knew that Charlie was about people, Charlie was about family, because he embraced me as a family member to do what he did, to have done what he did for me.
Because every time I had those moments of feeling kind of a little bit weaker and low and a little bit disheartened by my oversight boards, I hear him and I see what he's doing, and it just kind of gives me the fuel and the inspiration to continue to pursue. It's hard when you're sometimes as CEO to find people who will continue to develop you and invest in you, and then also will take from you the best of who you think you are. For someone who is so incredibly brilliant and smart, and there's the intellect there, he allows so much to still come through his heart. It's just, again, it's just so rare, and it made me again see all that he is.
Charlie took us in as a whole. He said, I want you to experience all of what I've built at Next Jump. And I think that's a bold thing. And I think this is how revolutions get started, right? If somebody has a really bold idea and they're not afraid to take the risk and they're not afraid to implement it. And I hope that this is the beginning.
He's been behind me every step of the way, from early on when I started to when I met my wife, when I got married, even though it was across the sea, when I fumbled at work, he continued to support me. When I had my baby, even though he was booked and busy, he still found a way to be behind me. And it goes on, so every time I've needed him or I've gone to him, he's been behind me and supported me no matter what.
Oh, hey, Charlie. Just rushing to catch a flight, but wanted to tell you that you're a major reason why I have the energy to do all of this madness and craziness and rushing around. It's such an honor to have met you, and it's really special for me to have met someone who cares about me and cares about my well-being, and more than that, tells me the truth that I need to hear. So congratulations on your award. Proud to be here, and I'm proud to call you a friend. I gotta go.
Last year I got married and I was trying to keep it as a surprise. I told a few people. I felt bad that it was during the week. It was on a Thursday at 10 o'clock in the morning. It's like I wanted everyone, but at the same time I didn't want to take people away from work. So I told a few people, and then Charlie found out, and without me knowing anything, he planned everything. So in 2 days he planned to have the entire office attending my wedding. So Charlie did the best day of my life. He made me feel that I was the most special, the most loved person. When I saw them there, 70 and more people at City Hall, I had tears. I just couldn't believe it. Like, he did that. He shut down the entire office for us, just to make me feel special. And then he took us to a restaurant. It was absolutely, I'd never seen something like this by anyone doing something like that. I felt like he's my father. That's how I felt. And I will always be grateful for this. I don't know, it was just out of this world.
Jackson's really lucky. We're all really lucky to have you in our lives, and congratulations on this award. I know this is going to mean so much more to you than any other award because it comes from the people that you really care about. I'm so proud of you, and I love you.
A new pin too, not a special pin, but the same pin all the other Avengers decide.
Special pin. I literally don't know what to say. I mean, my first reaction is, wait, like, I do stuff like that. Like,
sorry, I should make you speak. Where Charlie listens and Megan speaks, maybe, Simon. I don't know if other people speak, but I'm stand up here with you.
No, I mean,
you're in an awkward position.
I can't believe my mom is here. Yeah. I mean, literally, I thought Justin Bieber would be cool, but this is...
We'll try it for next year.
I'm actually mentoring someone who knows Justin Bieber, so I really thought that's what Megan did for real. No, I mean, I just love all you guys, I mean, in every way, and, like...
Speechless is good. Speechless is good, that's what we're going for.
So we have the bar reserved, right? I think I owe Brea a bottle of champagne. We're going to get expensive champagne, and I guess I hope you guys can stay with us at the bar. I'd love to talk to everyone one-on-one, and this has been, I mean, it's weird. People ask me, like, you're turning 40, and, you know, I think my son the other day in the cab said, Dad, 40's old. He's like, Dad, that 40's old. You're going to lose all your hair. You're going to turn white, and all this stuff. And I know I had to tickle him and tell him, like, he's speaking nonsense. But, like, I don't feel 40. I don't know why. I feel like I'm 25, 26. And there's just a lot to do. And I think the influence that people have had here on me, from literally interns who have come to the company and shared their personal stories and the journeys people have gone through, all the way to just amazing advisors and mentors and leaders, and my wife who's been by my side the whole time, and my team of the Megans and Toms and Gregs and Alberts, and I mean everybody else. Like, the tough days that I have, and how they pick me up, and how they find a way to, whether it's just walking around the block in the building at 3 in the morning before getting shredded by a board, or whatever it may be. It's just been such an amazing journey, and I think the big thing that's helped me a lot, it's helped me quite a bit over the last probably 2 years, has been kind of realizing the work my dad's been doing. And I mean, he has just dedicated his entire life to end world hunger. And it's something that I've always felt that his work was a lot more honorable than what I do. And felt the need to go back and help him and do everything that he does poorly, which I learned somehow over 10,000 hours in 10 years, how to present better and how to write better, and something that he lacked and never got proper help. Everyone always tried to trade helping him for credit for his patents and his awards. And there's something profound someone told me, and which was that God looked at my dad and saw a guy who has dedicated his entire life to help the world, and yet he got diabetes, his energy levels are so much lower, and said that he doesn't have the energy to fix the world. And so the next best person is his oldest son. So I just feel blessed, because it's not a blessing I feel I earned. It's something I think my dad earned, and just to be given that and just get the love from everybody here to help us actually take a dent at fixing the world before we leave this planet. I'm just so proud to march alongside everybody here. So, I mean, I really don't know what else to say, but thank you.